Felicia Luna prides herself on keeping a spotless house, even the day before she has brain surgery.
Your eye exam went good?
She's at peace with the operation because she has been inside her own brain through virtual reality.
This gives me a clear image of what exactly it looks like and the size of it.
Luna traces the path her neurosurgeon will take to clip her aneurysm and stop its growth.
I was emotional wreck, but now I feel like I know exactly what's going to happen.
So does the doctor.
I'll tell you when.
On the eve of the operation, Dr. Gary Steinberg reviews Luna's case to train future surgeons. The Stanford medical students appear as avatars inside her skull.
Kevin, can you see what I'm pointing at? What is that? That's the cella, and what's this here?
Steinberg leads them through Luna's brain, explaining his strategy.
So now we're going to go through into the craniotomy site.
It's also a rehearsal for him as he travels through the brain in 360 degrees.
So we can see the back of the aneurysm, the side. We can see its relationship to the parent vessel that it arises. This is something we could never do before.
The next day, monitors in the operating room display the same 3D images for Luna's actual surgery. Contrast dye makes the vessels appear in CT scans and angiograms, which are then reconstructed into the VR program.
Can you flip this?
Dr. Steinberg does these VR surgeries 1 or 2 every week, but he foresees a future where he's not even in the operating room.
He thinks someday he'll operate remotely with robotic arms, but the lag time makes that impossible now. Dr. Steinberg makes a final VR confirmation.
I'm simulating drilling away the bone that's overlying the aneurysm.
Minutes later, he starts the real operation in what's now familiar territory. For now, Stanford uses this VR technology for brain and spine cases. There is no extra charge for the use of VR. Donors and the department pay the fee. Doctors say the more complicated the anatomy, the more useful the technique.
That's good, thank you.
Luna's surgery is successful. After all, Dr. Steinberg has accomplished it many times before, virtually. Carolyn Persutti, VOA News, Stanford, California. The Tenderloin. At one time, it was the center of San Francisco's vibrant music scene.
When I look around now, I see a lot of destruction in character, a lot of human suffering, because people just don't give a damn no more.
Now, the Tenderloin is considered the city's most notorious neighborhood, home to the homeless, drug dealers, and their addicts who shoot up on the sidewalk, the mentally ill, and the people who ignore them. Except for Jacob Savage.
I mean, is there anything that I can help you with right now?
Savage stands out for not avoiding them and for carrying a trumpet, but we'll get to that in a second.
Hold on, I'm sorry. But I gotta make sure that we're not getting any reports when these phone calls are coming in.
Savage is in demand. His mobile phone is his work. Savage's group Concern invented this app for reporting people in an apparent mental health crisis. The observer types out a form on the app to describe what's happening. Words are checked for gender, age, race, and the surroundings.
You can describe the person who's going through the crisis. You can add notes. You could even take a photo.
Leaders like Savage get a notification and through a text assign the incident to a concerned responder. Or in this case, Savage rushes to the address himself. It's one of more than 2,000 reports they've answered.
You guys all good? I help point people to services and stuff.
Concern's goal is to intervene with mental health assistance before San Francisco police arrive and make arrests.
Savage imagines a day where Concern isn't out here on the streets every day, but instead it's the community taking care of itself, neighbor to neighbor.
Want to hear something?
Yeah.
What you want to hear?
What you got? Some jazz.
Savage is trying to earn the community's trust as he tries to enlist more residents to respond.
It's jazz.
He's been at it for 3 years, diffusing crises with his mild voice and his trumpet. Along the route, Eddie needs help. Savage guesses he's strung out on speed, crystal meth.
Hey, brother. I'm Jacob. What's your name, man?
Eddie, I'm from
Eddie?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you doing okay?
Savage tries something. The music signals another responder.
Okay, so keep walking like towards 6th on Market.
He gives Eddie the common currency of the neighborhood, a smoke. Savage says his priority is getting Eddie to trust him.
Everybody wants a cigarette out here, and it gets them to breathe, it gets them to pause, at least for a moment. Hey, hit that cigarette, take a deep breath.
But right now, Eddie can't even keep the cigarette in his mouth. Savage knows he'll see him on the street again and hopes next time maybe he can convince Eddie to get the help he needs. Carolyn Presutti, VOA News, San Francisco, California. Curiosity got the best of the Dupins. They had to get on board.
I want to get one for my house. Like just to get to the mailbox.
It's a shuttle bus with doors and seats, but no brake pedal or steering wheel or driver. A thrilling experience for someone who just moved to California from the car capital of the U.S., Detroit, Michigan.
I love adventure, so if something were to go wrong, it'd probably be more interesting.
I would ride in it. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it goes very fast, does it?
Let's take a ride and see. The shuttles can go about 16 kilometers with GPS unmanned navigation on an electric battery-powered motor. It's a smooth ride, but jarring for the brain, since the landscape moves, but no one drives. The Bishop Ranch Business Park wants to have 20 of these in 10 years. The driverless vehicles will carry 12 commuters to 600 individual offices. They'll replace these gasoline-powered buses.
Now, we don't have enough resources to widen our public right-of-ways or to improve them in such a way that we can get that kind of efficiency. So autonomy is the real answer for congestion, particularly on our freeways.
The buses, built by a French company, cost $250,000 each.
The shuttle is equipped with numerous sensors, giving it 360-degree vision, so that when something walks in front of the shuttle, it stops.
It's like a radar. So it detects all the objects in about a 200-meter radius on top. And it's got sensors in all 4 corners of the vehicle there. And then it also has sensors in the front. And that windshield wiper that you see in the back is not for the windshield because it's too small. It's for that camera.
Randy Iwasaki, who led the regulatory effort to get the shuttles, says the bus has one more hurdle to pass before the public can actually take a ride. Organizers say success will be realized when people get on and look down at their cell phones, treating a driverless shuttle just like a normal ride. We're back. Carolyn Presutti, VOA News, San Ramon, California.